Are you done?
No.
The difference between me and you, I'm not trying to impress nobody. I asked you a very specific question. If you ask me when people can have sex and whatnot, is when they are physically and mentally ready. Simple as that. As long as they consent and they're physically and mentally ready, I don't have anything.
Is a 9-year-old ready to consent? You're not making any sense. There has to be a conversation before someone gets married, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so and in this conversation, did either Abu Bakr say, you can have my daughter, or Muhammad say, I want your daughter? Which one? The conversation has to be had.
This is how the conversation works.
Yeah.
The prophet and the daughter want each other, but the father has to accept it. So without the father's acceptance, there can't be a marriage.
Listen to what you just said.
What?
The prophet, who is a 50-year-old man, and a 6-year-old who is a 6-year-old.
Don't try and manipulate me.
Listen, no. You said they wanted one another. That's what you just said.
If you're going to argue against something, you have to come from some sort of basis. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Don't be sitting there telling me, I'm disgusted, just because this is where we are, like, today.
I'm coming from
where are you
a
coming
child's
from?
perspective.
What is a child?
I tell you.
What is a child? When does a child become an adult, according to you? For about half an hour I've asked you, you can't answer it.
And I'm just going to tell you, just for this conversation, if any man ever said to my 6-year-old girl he wanted to marry her, I'm cutting off his dick. And I'm going to feed it to him. I'm going to make sure he can't use that dick again. But to your prophet, cool, let's do that. Did he go to her and say, Aisha, do you want to marry Prophet Muhammad? And she was like, yeah, daddy, I do.
Let's go back.
No, that's not the conversation.
Stop.
Right?
Stop.
He gave her the child.
According to the hadith that you read, let's go by it. I'm not saying whether that's correct or not, but let's say she was 9.
When they had sex.
Well, that's when they got technically lived in the same house.
But it says they consummated the marriage at 9. That's what it says.
So there's no point talking about 6 then.
Sex.
So there's no point talking about when she was 6.
Well, you don't have to. No, we can talk about when they had sex.
Stay at 9.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we're going to talk about when they had sex.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, why are you assuming that she wasn't asked if she wanted to marry him or not?
Why are you assuming? Because it clearly states, or you said, that his friend offered her to him. Yes?
Accept.
What do you mean accept? Say that again?
Accept.
What do you mean accept?
Do you know what accept means?
Yeah, but who accepted what?
It means he's okay with it. It means he's not against it. He's not against the idea.
You're not making any sense. There has to be a conversation before someone gets married, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so and in this conversation, did either Abu Bakr say, you can have my daughter, or Muhammad say, I want your daughter? Which one? The conversation has to be had.
This is how the conversation works.
Yeah.
The prophet and the daughter want each other, but the father has to accept it. So without the father's acceptance, there can't be a marriage.
Listen to what you just said.
What?
The prophet, who is a 50-year-old man, and a 6-year-old who is a 6-year-old.
Don't try and manipulate me.
Listen, no.
Why
You said they wanted one another. That's what you just said.
If we agreed on 9, why are we going back to 6?
Because you said the prophet and Aisha wanted one another.
Okay.
You're telling me a 6-year-old wants to get married to a 50-year-old.
Why have you gone from 6 to 9? Why have you left 9 and gone to 6?
Because you brought it back there.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You brought
we
it back
talked about
there.
9. I made sure that our point of reference was from 9 years old.
You said the prophet and Aisha wanted one another. So at what point did they want one another? It wasn't at 9. It would have been before 9, wouldn't it?
When did they have sex?
9.
So why are you talking about before that?
Because they got married at 6.
No, they didn't.
Stop playing semantic games, bro.
No,
seriously, stop it.
No, when
you brought it back there.
Why? Okay, why are you stuck to 6?
I want to know the conversation. How that conversation go down? How did Abu Bakr go to this man and say, I got a 6-year-old daughter, I wanted to marry you? Or how did Muhammad go to him and say, I want your 6-year-old daughter? How did that conversation go down?
He had a dream.
Well, I know that bit.
The how part.
Yes.
Your issue is why the prophet married a 9-year-old. Why are you trying to swim around the subject for? That's your issue.
You can avoid this question all you want, you know.
But what is your?
You can avoid it.
You're asking me how.
I said, how did the conversation go down?
So you're asking me how the courtship went. How am I supposed to know?
All right, I'm going to repeat it one more time.
Yeah.
How did the conversation go down between Muhammad and Abu Bakr, so he was going to have his daughter. How did that conversation go down?
I don't know. What's your point?
You don't know?
No.
Okay. So, just because you don't know, are you allowed to fill in the gaps as how it might have went?
Did I?
Are you allowed to fill in the gaps how it might have went?
Did I?
No, I'm saying, are you? Are you allowed to fill in the gaps?
Why would I? No.
Okay.
No.
It's not a concern.
No, it doesn't concern me, but because I didn't. I didn't put that sentence.
Are you telling me? Are you now telling me it doesn't matter to you as a person that a 50-year-old man decided to marry a 6-year-old girl? You telling me it doesn't matter?
Why you want 6?
No, marry a 6-year-old.
Stuck on 6.
Yeah, why?
It's the facts.
No, why are you worried about 9?
It's the facts.
Oh no, why? Why are you worried about 9?
Why are you not worried? That's my question.
No, why are you worried?
Why are you not worried?
Why are you worried about 9?
Why are you not worried that a 50-year-old man wants to marry a 6-year-old girl and have sex with her? Why are you not worried about it?
Did he have sex with a 6-year-old?
No, when she was 9, I said
Okay,
married at 6, sex at 9. Married at 6, sex at 9. Third time.
But your
married
concern,
at 6, sex at 9.
But your concern is the sex.
How do you know that?
Your concern is the sex.
How do you know that?
According to your hadith.
Hadith, yeah.
According to Sahih Bukhari.
Wait, please. According to you,
I can read it if you want me to read it. I don't mind reading.
But that's your issue. Your issue is the sex. You don't care about anything else. Your issue is a 50-year-old.
Yes, child molestation is a very big issue.
All right, cool.
Child molestation is a very big issue to me.
Now,
because I have children myself. Do you have children?
Of course. Define a child.
Have you got a 6-year-old?
I've got a son. A 6-year-old
You
son.
don't have a girl?
No.
I've got a 10-year-old girl. And I'm just going to tell you, just for this conversation, if any man ever said to my 6-year-old girl you wanted to marry her, I'm cutting off his dick. And I'm gonna feed it to him. I'm gonna make sure he can't use that dick again. But to your prophet, cool, let's do that. Cool, but I'm saying you and I obviously have different moral standards. That's what I'm saying.
You got your applause.
It's not applause.
Now let's get on to it.
It's not applause.
Now tell me, define a child for me.
Define a child.
Yeah.
The mere fact that you would ask that question.
When is a girl an adult according to you? When is sex acceptable according to you?
When is sex acceptable?
According to you.
When the person is ready for it.
When is that?
Psychologically and physically.
When is that?
It differs from person to person.
Able to keep. Sorry?
It differs from person to person.
It differs from person to person. But 9 is a no-no.
9 is to the child.
9 is to the child.
Yeah.
So even physically.
I'll read you something. Let me read you something. Yemeni child bride dies at 8 years old from internal injuries from the first night of marriage.
Is that a question I asked you?
Hang on.
Is that a question?
She's 8.
Is that a question I asked
Let me go to a 13-year-old.
Is that the question?
Because we got 5 years in between.
Emotionally manipulate.
Hang on. Let's
Man
go to a 13-year-old.
Question. Just answer it.
Child dies at 13.
Why can't you answer it?
Due to internal injuries after the arranged marriage.
You know that's not
so
gonna work.
we've got from 8 to 13
That's not gonna
where a
help you.
grown man is fucking this girl so hard that she fucking dies. And here you are in front of me trying to justify the shit like all this shit is cool. Go ahead.
I've not said anything.
Go ahead.
I've not said anything.
No, go ahead.
I asked you, what age?
No, there is very needed the F word.
Wait, leave him.
The F word is not the issue.
Leave him.
Fucking a child is the issue.
Leave him.
My language is not the fucking issue,
Leave
bro.
him. Leave
the
him.
child being fucked is the issue.
Leave him.
I'm sick of this shit.
Leave him.
You're worrying about words, I'm worrying about the fucking child.
Alright.
The child can't take that shit. She died.
But yet you
And you're worrying about, oh, he said fuck.
But yet you can't
I'm worrying about the child, bro.
But yet you can't answer.
Fuck's sake.
Wait. But yet
think for a fucking second.
But yet you still can't answer what is an acceptable age.
I said it different from child to child.
So basically you can't answer what is an acceptable age. You just want to have you just want to be able to criticize. That's what you want to do.
This is what we do now. This is what we do now.
What do you know?
The average 9-year-old's body
That's not the question I asked you.
This is what we do now.
That's not the question I asked you.
The average 9-year-old's body is not physically ready to be penetrated by a 50-year-old man.
Average is not old.
I got a 10-year-old.
Average is
And
not
she's kind of big for 10.
Average is not
But no
absolute.
50-year-old man is grinding my child. I'll fucking kill him.
Average is not
I'll
absolute.
tell you that.
But you don't have an answer. Have you noticed? I've no issue.
What you don't have an answer
You don't have an
is
answer.
how it's okay to do. You don't have an answer as to how it's okay to do that and why you're not concerned with it. You see, what's happening here is that a rapist, I'll tell you what a rapist will do.
Personally?
No, I'll tell you what a rapist will do. A rapist will put themselves in anybody's position except for the victim.
Do you want to have a monologue or dialogue? I ain't trying to impress no one like
Muhammad's position, but they all put themselves in the child's position. I will put myself in the child's position and know that that child is not physically ready. I don't care what you say.
Are you done?
No.
The difference between me and you, I'm not trying to impress nobody. I asked you a very specific question. If you ask me when people can have sex and whatnot, is when they are physically and mentally ready. Simple as that. As long as they consent and they're physically and mentally ready, I don't have anything.
Is a 9-year-old ready to consent?
Huh?
Is a 9-year-old ready to consent to sex? Are they ready?
It depends on what day and age you're talking about. If you want to talk about a 9-year-old 1400 years ago,
Do you see what I'm dealing with?
listen. Do you want an answer?
Do you see what I'm dealing with?
Do you want an answer?
Are there any police around
Do
here?
you want
There's
an
a
answer?
fucking molester over
Do
there.
you want an answer? A 9-year-old 1400 years ago is not the same as a 9-year-old today.
Is her body the same? Physically?
Not necessarily, I don't
Not
know.
necessarily, you don't know. Bro, if you know what I'm saying? If you were to say 100,000 years ago, when human beings were still developing as human beings and their bodies were different, maybe I might give you a part. But 1,400 years ago, our bodies are still the same as they were 1,400 years ago.
How do you feel about 12?
What do you mean how I feel
How do you feel about 12?
I just told you a 13-year-old's body, this 13-year-old still died after being mounted by a grown man.
Well, okay, so if that's the case...
I don't even want to have this conversation.
No, but wait,
It's making me feel sick, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Why is it making you feel sick?
Because you're here trying to justify.
But what are you basing it on? What is your morality code, scientific code? Where are you coming from other than how you feel?
Then you tell me what you think.
Yes, she was 19. You're trying to show him that hadith.
So what are you going to say about that?
He has an argument, but he has no basis for his
From the
argument.
age of 9 to 14. St. Augustine, 300, he married a 10-year-old. Why have you got a problem with that?
In many states today, the legal age is 14.
What are we speaking about?
What we're speaking about, listen, if you're going to argue against something, you have to come from some sort of basis. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Don't be sitting there telling me, I'm disgusted, just because this is where we are, like, today.
I'm coming from
Where are you
a
coming
child's
from?
perspective.
What is a
wrong
child?
with you? I tell you.
What is a child? When does a child become an adult, according to you? For about half an hour I've asked you, you can't answer it. All you want to do is criticize. You want to look like a superstar. Hey! That's all you want to do.
He sounds like someone's trying to justify pedophilia.
I haven't said anything.
Thank you. I wasn't going to say it. I'll let you say it. Thank you.
How could you just...
Brother, I will ask you a question.
I have not stated anything.
Okay. According to you, how old should it be? According to you, that's what I want to know.
Is a 9-year-old adult?
According to you, how old is a child no longer a child? That's what I want to know.
A child is no longer a child. A child is no longer a child when your physical biology tells you you're no longer a child.
Which is what?
When you start bleeding, when you start having your period, the
first day of your period.
Your first period. So if you have your period at 6 years old, you're no longer a child.
There's a clear-cut difference between an adult and a child.
1 second.
Which is when?
An adult is biologically different to a child.
Okay, when you have your period, when you have your period,
You
yes?
tell me when.
Come on,
Then
man.
why can't you answer?
I said it. I told you
when you
it
have your
differs from
period.
person to person.
So if you have your period at 6,
So you tell me
you're no
when.
longer a child. If you have your period at 7,
I can say
you're
the
no
same
longer a
thing.
child. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
but are you going to say the same thing?
I can't say the same thing.
Yeah, I know you can.
Yeah.
I can do a lot of things.
Okay, fine.
But are you going to say in this argument that
It differs from person to
So
person.
now are you
I don't
saying
have a
that?
problem.
So okay, so let's get. So you went around the houses.
But again,
so now, are you now
when
saying?
you say
5-year-old
it
has
differs,
a period is no longer a
wait,
child.
you can't have an argument.
Are you now saying
when you say
that a 9-year-old's ready?
when you say it differs from a person to person, why are you picking on this condition is? You said it differs from person to person. Exactly. That's what you said. So how do you know this particular person's condition? Another thing that you said was on an average. Now average is not absolute against something that you said. So where are you putting this particular conversation in? Where? Your whole argument
having
is
this conversation
it's consensus.
actually making me sick.
You're trying to manipulate.
It's making me sick.
Who said anything?
I can't
justify
because you sound like you're actually trying to justify this shit, and I can't.
I'm asking, he's a 9-year-old adult. He's a 9-year-old adult.
By saying when the child has the first period, then he's no longer a child.
Let's talk about specifics. Was Aisha ready to have sex? Let's talk about specifics. Because you're going around here.
How do you know?
Was Aisha ready to have sex?
He's asking a question.
He doesn't. He doesn't. That's why he's asking.
Hear the answer. Hear the answer. Hear the answer.
You need to listen, bro.
Hear the answer. Since Aisha got married, stayed married, and was happily married, and her marriage was accepted by her father, I would rightly assume that she was ready.
At 9.
What would you base on?
Hang on.
I don't know what age she was. I don't know.
She was 9.
I don't know what age she was.
What do you mean you don't know what age she was?
No, do you? You're coming from one hadith and I showed you another hadith. Did I not?
Is Bukhari authentic? Yes or no?
Yes.
We got Muslims here. Is Bukhari authentic? Is it authentic?
So is Muslim.
Okay then.
So is Muslim. Is Muslim authentic?
Yes.
Is Muslim authentic?
Okay.
Bro.
So how old was she?
Don't give me charade, man.
So how old was she? How old was she?
I don't know.
You don't know. So we got 9 and got 19, yeah?
Yeah.
So how come within your religion you don't know?
What do you mean by within
I
my
thought
religion?
your religion was perfect.
That is
I thought it was perfect. I thought we knew everything.
Do you want an answer?
Go on.
Do you want an answer? When they got married, it's not an Islamic creed. So it has nothing to do with religion being perfect or not.
Well, for the sake of this argument,
So you're talking complete ass.
not at all. For the sake of this
You're
argument,
talking shit.
no. For the sake of this argument,
What is your argument
for the
based
sake of
on?
this argument, I've spoken to Muslims just before you came as a
two of
man.
your
And
questions.
listen.
No, mate, I've
Listen.
to question you.
Just before you came.
I've heard you all day. Do you
Just
want to dialogue?
before you came.
Do you want to
I
dialogue?
had 2 Muslims
Do
say
you want
she
to
was
dialogue?
9.
Did I answer 2 questions?
2 Muslims say she was
Did I answer
9.
2 questions?
2.
Did I answer 2 questions?
And now you come along.
Can I ask
And now you come along. And now she's 19.
This Brett and his feelings.
I had 2 Muslims before you say she was
Do you
9.
want a
Now you
question?
come along and she's not 9, she's 19.
Do you want a question?
I can't believe none of you. You're all fucking liars.
Do you want a question?
You're all fucking
Do you want
liars. I
a
can't
question?
believe none of you.
But I can't believe it.
I can't believe none
But
of
we
you.
can say the same.
Let's stop having this conversation.
We can say the same thing.
Let's stop. Let's talk about what you want to talk about before. Let's stop. Talk about what you want to talk about. Huh? I don't believe any of you. You're all liars, bro.
Go part 2. Infinity.
Bro, you know what's convenient?
For everybody here that he's trying to impress, he's got nothing. Nothing.
All right.
Nothing.
Was she 9? Or was she 19? Was she 9 or 19? Aisha, was she 9 or 19 when she had sex? Was she? Was she 9 or 19?
How old
If you don't know, say you don't know. You don't know. And now all of a sudden no one don't know. All of a sudden no one knows. But before they knew, but now you don't know. You're all fucking liars, bro. You're all fucking liars, bro.
Back to what we were saying. Back to the subject.
You know, and then you don't know. Now she's 19 and now she's 9.
Back to the subject.
Okay, guys.
Back to the subject.
No consistency within your religion. None. Inconsistency. No consistency.
Back to the subject. When Aisha got married,
You got a bunch of
it's not the religion.
child molesters around there.
When Aisha got married,
Bunch of potential child
when
molesters.
Aisha got married, it's not religion.
What he said. He said anyone that believes in what you believe in is a potential child molester.
Which is what?
I'm neutral.
But he's not basing his argument on anything. Guys, we can't have everyone get involved. I done that. I used that.
Okay?
He's got nothing.
You give a 6-year-old daughter up? You're gonna give a 6-year-old up? You're gonna give your 6-year-old up?
We're at a different age.
Oh, we're at a different age now. How convenient.
Guys. It's your fault. You wanted the subject. You wanted the proof. It's your fault, bro.
Because, you know, it says, they talk about
What kind of irrelevant question is that?
No, wait.
What kind of irrelevant question is that?
My brother, leave me, man. I'm lying.
Part 2, please.
To see more videos like this, subscribe to Titans TV down below. Thanks.
Calling Django. The greatest darky that bite with shark teeth and hate malarkey. Who you? The greatest heartbeat. Ancient Egypt is a matriarchy. Who me? The one with the S on his chest when the motherfucker go by. Who you? The one everybody calls your highness, cause the weed got you feeling so high.